for the 15 or 20 minutes. And what I would request is that please hold on to your questions, listen to the presentation, see if you have any points or some of the questions which you already raised, which I can see here, must have been answered in the presentation. Whatever is not answered, I'd be glad to do it at the end of the presentation. So I request you to hold on to your questions and then go through it towards the last 15-20 minutes of the presentation. Okay, so welcome again. Let's go ahead with the presentation. My name is Raghu Rama Swamy. I'm the Director for School of Infrastructure, RSAS School of Built Environment. We are a named school in Amity University. RSAS is a world well-recognized industry body which has been set up 150 years ago, and it's an industry-led academic institution which we have set up in India in partnership with Amity University. As RSAS, we focus on 3 or 4 parameters. We are committed to setting standards across various domains in real estate, construction, infrastructure. We offer full-time programs, what you are seeing in the course now at RSAS School of Built Environment. We also do a lot of training in terms of executive education for professionals in various fields. We have trainees coming from leading institutes who are getting trained under our faculty. Being academic institution is also important to have a lot of research activities, and we are a school which is known for research. We undertake research to delve deeper into issues which we kind of teach, which are again the fields of real estate, construction, and infrastructure. Most of you would have gone through our website. We under the umbrella of RSAS School of Built Environment, we have 3 sub-schools: School of Real Estate, School of Construction, and School of Infrastructure. Each school is manned by a different faculty and different curriculum, and the courses are quite tuned towards the industry needs of the respective subsectors. We offer full-time programs in each of these schools. On your screen now, we have presented the programs what we offer. We offer graduate and the postgraduate programs. The BBA programs are offered in real estate and urban infrastructure under the School of Real Estate, and we also offer a 3-year BBA program in construction management under the School of Construction. On all 3 schools, we offer a 2-year full-time MBA programs. School of Real Estate offers a 2-year program in real estate and urban infrastructure. School of Construction offers 2 programs. One program is MBA in Construction Project Management, and the second program in Construction Economics and Quantity Surveying. The third school, which I represent, offers a 2-year MBA program in Infrastructure Management. There are no BBA programs in infrastructure management. I'll explain why it is not there. This is a program which is there. In addition to that, we are also offering a postgraduate diploma in facilities management, and we also have a full-time and part-time PhD programs in all the 3 streams. Just to give a highlight of where we stand, the school is set up in 2013. One batch has passed out. The second batch is going to pass out currently. The first batch which passed out had 100% placements. The average cost to company of the students who are placed in the first batch is about 6.7 lakhs. The highest CTC happens to be about 13 lakhs. The current batch, which is going to pass out in April, we already placed 93% of the students. The average CTC is around 7.2 lakhs. The highest offered so far is 18.2 lakhs, and we are expecting the rest of the students to be placed quite quickly in a week or so. The 25%, this time the interesting thing is that 25% of our batch, the current batch, is placed in the Middle East market. So we offer not only Indian placements, we also offer international placements to all our students. But as you are aware, these 2 programs are on the construction real estate. So what I will do now is to give an overview of the MBA Infrastructure Management program. This is a unique course which is not being offered anywhere in the country. While there is a huge need in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the students who are required, the opportunities which are there are quite a lot. So I'll take you through what do we mean by infrastructure, what are the opportunities which are available, what kind of talent which is there, what do we teach here in the courses, and what do you expect your career once you pass out of the MBA Infrastructure Management. All of you, I'm sure, are reading the papers. The current theme in the country is about infrastructure. There are a lot of talk about Make in India. There are talk about the professionals required for infrastructure. The estimate we have done in the past looks at around 3 million professionals required by 2022 who need to be specialized in the real estate construction infrastructure fields. Purely on infrastructure, India is expecting $1 trillion of investments in the next 5 years. Now, this number keeps going up and down depending upon what kind of exchange rates what we have. but you can look at the magnitude of the investments which are there is quite huge. The other program which is there in the country, which I'm sure again you're reading the newspapers, is on smart cities. Each smart city is a agglomeration of various elements of infrastructure, which are there on your screen now. Infrastructure categories typically include these six elements. One is the energy, also the power as you normally understand, which has right from generation to transmission to distribution, and also the stock requirement in terms of oil and gas. There are requirements in terms of communication and telecom industries. Transportation is a huge area, roads, highways, airports, railways, etc. The other big theme which is there in the country, which is equal to these smart cities, etc., is the urban and rural infrastructure. The elements which are related to water and sanitation, solid waste management, civic communities, the parks, the flyovers, the stormwater drains, etc. Mining, exploration, refining, the oil and gas sector is a huge infrastructure sector. There are a lot of need in these areas. The other area which again is picking up is the social and commercial infrastructure. So the education, hospitals, hospitality, tourism, SEZs, etc. One interesting thing is that infrastructure is always an evergreen field in one sense, because we keep needing to build up, we keep need to improve the operations, we keep needing to go forward in terms of the growth of population as well as the growth of the economy. The sector has a multiple components. You start with conceptualization projects. Conceptualization essentially means identification of a project and then how do you actually implement a project. So suppose we have an airport or we have a metro in a city. How do you start identifying a particular idea, identifying a particular project? That is covered in conceptualization. Once an idea has come, you have to start designing and planning for it. That's again a huge area. A lot of technical inputs are required in this particular field. Then you have financing of it, and each of these believe me costs thousands of dollars. Now, for instance, again the smart city as an example, each city is looking at about 3,000 crores of investments, which is about $400 million of investment per city only for smart city programs. So the financing is a huge area. Then you have construction and rehabilitation, operations and maintenance over a long period. So the infrastructure management as the course, what we are aiming to teach in this MBA program, covers this complete elements, what we call a project life cycle, starting from identification of a project to the complete loop. You identify, you design, you finance it, you construct, then someone has to operate, maintain. Over a period, it will get depleted. Again, you have to go through the cycle again. So this complete cycle, what we call a life cycle, this is the basis on which our program is structured. If you look at the categories of infrastructure, the names what I used earlier, the power plants, the gas and grid plants, the railways, the roads, the ports, water supply, etc. Now, all these are the elements of the project life cycle. Now, what we teach is kind of a sector agnostic teaching. In a sense, we are not a technical school, we are a management school. So what we're going to teach is the management and the business principles covering all these sectors. Well, you will not know the technicalities of each of the sector, but you will know appreciate the complete business model of this and as an example of each of those sectors. So we cover all these elements. Now, if you look at the initiatives, I've just used a few pictures here. You'll see 3-4 slides coming with multiple themes. When we look at a city program like a smart city, it encompasses all the elements of infrastructure what I talked earlier. It is not a standalone element. Now, if you go back and recollect what I have said, you have energy, you have telecom, you have urban, you have water supply, you have solid waste management, you have tourism. All these things are there in every city. So when we mean a smart city program, or we mean any infrastructure project of this scale, what it entails is the combination of various infrastructure facilities. So one is to learn different sectors. The second challenge is to learn how do we integrate all these sectors into one particular idea, which is a smart city is one example for that. So these are the picture slides we have taken for different conceptual presentations made by various cities. But each city, if you notice, looks completely different, which means it has a different infrastructure implications. Now, what we teach again is to how do we handle this diversity? How do we go about looking at various elements and how do you kind of address the needs of the people? You also been hearing about metro trains, bullet trains, and double-decker trains. These are the things which we kind of not thought about 10, 12 years, but today they are reality in multiple cities. So those of you who are staying in metros have already witnessed some of these facilities which are being operated. Increasingly, these are going to become a common factor across all the cities in India. So how do we go about doing this? This is a very core component of infrastructure. bridges, expressways, tunnels. Again, the pictures what you see, some of them, the first two are the pictures which are there in India. So these kind of buildings have already been built, and they're a huge exercise in terms of planning and financing and get them on the ground. There are apart from, we're going to see multiple themes, multiple projects going forward. So how do we look at this? So infrastructure management again addresses this kind of elements. Apart from the overarching elements like this, we also have a theme specific projects, which are the kind of a solar parks. SEZ stands for special economic zones. DMIC is the Delhi Mumbai Industrial Corridor. So these are the specific themes. Once in a while, Government of India or respective states come about with their own plans. So where again is the integration of various infrastructure elements into one particular area, one particular idea. So you can see the Mahindra World City SEZ at Jaipur. This is how it looks like. Delhi Mumbai Industrial Corridor goes across a huge area, cuts across 3-4 different states, and the area surrounding that has been developed. There are solar parks, which is one example is shown in Gujarat, which is spread across quite a big area in which you cover all these elements. So these are the themes which are kind of thing. So let me come back to having introducing the what is there in infrastructure. Let us look at if someone wants to make a career in infrastructure, how does it look like? And that is what we are interested as MBA students as well as business managers. How does our careers look like in this? Our work as infra manager starts from what is a understanding the project in terms of the briefing and the feasibility studies, basically understanding whether the project makes sense or not. Assessing procurement strategies. How do you procure contractors? Procure basically means select. You're aware of tendering procedures. How do you go about tendering various people and tendering various contracts and try to get the best possible opportunity? How do you look at financing? There's a big theme. So you'll also learn quite a lot about project funding, project financing, etc. Infrastructure is replete with advisors. So a lot of tendering strategy, contract selection, etc. goes on with this. So a lot of activity is there in terms of advising various private and the government bodies on contract selection. End of the day, all the projects what we do, because it's a huge projects and each of the projects are 20, 30 years, 100 years, what they stand, there are a lot of risks which are involved. How do you manage and analyze the risks? Now, this risk taking is not just important for a project per se, but also as a career. We always stand up and look at various facets of our life as a manager. How do we understand risk? Risk is key thing and which is being taught here. We also need to understand the nitty-gritties of managing time and cost. It's very critical to look at that. So those aspects we will see. We also look at the business development. End of the day, soliciting and developing projects is critical. Someone has to get a project. So the business development elements play a very big role. So as a infra manager, the work spread is quite large, right? From the commercial activities, from the financial activities, the business development activities, and a little bit of legal activities as well. So this is what is there, but depending upon the corporate to corporate, company to company, they may have different options which is there. Why should we consider a MBA in infrastructure management? There's a strong demand for industry for our specialized course which we are offering at RACS School of Built Environment. Our school, all the three streams, what we offer has been initiated on the support of the industry. Industry has kind of indicated what requirements they have, what kind of student talent they are looking at, what kind of skills they want to see in the students. So we kind of designed this course exactly as per the needs of the industry. So we have a very strong demand because already demand is established before we started putting our program in place. The curriculum is continuously being debated with the industry experts. They give inputs on what is required, what is not required. We kind of give experiential learning. All our students across three streams, specifically in MBA Infrastructure Management program, work with the industry continuously and kind of get the insights into their own courses as well as what is required in the field. Because it's an MBA program, we have a balanced mix of general management courses, core infrastructure courses, and sector-specific employability courses. Now, there are a lot of courses which are required in terms of data management, decision-making processes, communications, business government relations. These are very critical, and we kind of put our course in a manner such a way that 40% will be general management courses, about 60% is a core infra and the sector-specific employability courses. And this is what the industry kind of told us is required when they look at various intake. To give a feel of the corporate life, there's an 8-week mandatory industry training, the summer internship which is there, which is offered between the 2 years, between first year and second year. It's compulsory that all the students go through 8 weeks industry training. and we do support in getting the training for our students. Apart from going to the field and meeting people, we have a lot of experts coming into a school. We have an expert coming almost every week, other week into the classes at various streams, and trying to share their knowledge on what is required in different aspects. This particular program in MBA Infrastructure Management is structured in such a way that the complete project life cycle is repeated for 4 times in the 4 semesters for each of the students. So each student goes through 4 different projects, 4 times the complete cycle, plus the summer internship, which makes them kind of a rounded personality that they would have seen 4 different sectors at least and understood the concepts 4 times. And extremely case study and project oriented pedagogy what we use, which enables the students to understand and appreciate the concepts which are there. Some of the competencies which are developed now, we are kind of because we come from the lineage of RACS, we kind of mapped our programs to the competencies which are required world over, not just in India. Our programs are accredited. MBA Infrastructure Management is being applied for accreditation. It has to be done once this program is commenced, and we have commenced now. The competencies which are there as per RACS, they cover the general competence of business skills, managerial skills, people skills, etc. Apart from that, the sector-specific competencies, what I mentioned earlier, in terms of planning, in terms of relationships in the client care, rules, ethics, and professional practice, dispute management, data management, etc. So the course is enabled in a manner which is on par with the best of the international courses as far as the accreditation goes of various programs. This is one question I've seen a lot of you already started asking right from the beginning. Where can you work? Now, obviously, the field is quite large. Broadly, there are 4 or 5 categories of companies a MBA Infrastructure Management student can aspire for. These are some of the companies who are there in each of the fields. We will invite for the campus placement depending upon the student interest as well as the kind of profile what we have. So what we have presented here is the kind of a profile of companies who are there in various categories. Consulting is a big area. You have all the big 4 companies like PricewaterhouseCoopers, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, CRISIL, IMAX, ILFS, Feedback, etc. A lot of developers look at infrastructure students. GMR Group, L&T, GVK are some of the names. Private equity firms are also quite keen looking at financing and other activities. There are engineering consulting companies like AECOM, Aegis who are interested. Banking sector is quite big. Axis Bank, SBI Caps, ICICI Bank, etc. are the people who are maybe interested. There are rating agencies like CRISIL, Fitch, ICRA. So all these categories of people do look at students who are passed out from MBA infrastructure. Now, obviously, every company will not visit. We will have to pick and choose depending upon the student profile and the demand at that particular point of time when the student is passing. Apart from this, we also have kind of opportunistic recruitment in a lot of research firms, law firms, etc., who also look at recruiting from different streams of MBA infrastructure management. The career pathway, when I mean the various functionalities, what the student can aspire to work in different companies. One element is the strategy itself in terms of consulting firms, the transaction management, the due diligence of various projects, partner identification. That kind of strategy element is one opportunity which is available. Development is a developer sector. So someone wants to develop an airport, someone wants to develop a port. How does one go about doing that? Analysis, due diligence, partner contractor identification, modeling, financials, etc. So that's one sector which is there. There are opportunities in the procurement side where contractor identification, the cost assessments, financial modeling, bid documentation, these things are one pathway which is available. Delivery and operations generally go together in terms of how do we construct a project, who are the people who help in construction and managing the project. Operations essentially means running the project once it is constructed. Suppose we have a Delhi metro. Construction is one side of the job. Second side of the job, how do we run this? Which is operations, is a huge field which is coming up. One element which the infrastructure sector is kind of maturing is on in terms of disposal. Once a company operates a project for a certain time, they like to dispose it off in terms of sell out their shares, look at different promoters. So there's one area which is there. There's a huge government advisory business in this area and also private corporate consulting opportunities. So as a career pathway, the field is quite wide. The multiple opportunities which are there. As you have seen, the companies are also quite wide. The opportunities are many, and going forward with the kind of aspirations what the country has, I think this will only increase. It's not going to be any lesser. Is MBA program for you? As far as the eligibility, the graduates with 50% above marks are eligible to apply for MBA program. Preference is for engineers, economics, and finance graduates, architects, and others. I'll come to you why we are saying this. It's a quite diverse field, and then it can take across the dimension different capabilities. Infrastructure MBA is contingent upon three particular parameters. We are planning to practice with profession with confidence and global competitiveness. We want our students to practice their profession in a manner which is no lesser than anyone else in the world. So we are trying to give all the tools and all the practices which are possible for the students at this point of time. We want them to pursue a lifelong career of personal and professional growth. End of the day, MBA is about creating businesses, managing businesses. Only thing we are offering a particular stream in terms of infrastructure. But the general management principles will remain. And those are related to the personal growth as well as professional growth. All of us aspire to become something else in life. And this is a tool which will enable us to go forward. And we want to do it in a manner which has a high work ethics and character. And that is what stands us apart from various other students. So this is one MBA IM offers for you. And finally, the people who are interested in terms of further studies and research are possible to, these opportunities are also possible for those students. So the MBA IM program aims to transform the students into these three areas. As you have been listening, the sectors are quite wide, the skills required are quite wide. Because of the opportunities also quite wide. I mean, it's not unlike other programs which are very focused on kind of intake which is possible. MBA infrastructure allows the program intake from a wide range of undergrad qualifications. You can have BTech in multiple streams: civil, mechanical, electrical, electronics, electrical. We have put a few names, but it's question of we can always expand that, because if you take any, let's say, a metro train, you need civil engineers, you need mechanical engineers, you need electrical engineers, you need electronics people, you need computer science graduates. You also need chemical kind of the background depending upon there. So the person who has all this knowledge can appreciate the project much better. So BTech in most of the streams actually will fit in. Urban planning design is very, very critical. So BArch students will find it very useful. Because we deal with economics, because we are dealing with countries, cities, states, etc. The public policy, economics, finance, EA, BBA, finance, this kind of courses are also quite possible. So as you can see, there's a huge dimension of education qualification which MBA program can take. Coming to the diversity of background, all my career before joining RACS, most of our faculty here has worked in industry and we have come from corporate worlds. We see a huge amount of potential for girl students as well as the boy students. The opportunities are quite a lot in consulting, finance, etc. So opportunities again are available for a diverse range of a batch configuration. Work experience, we have a mix of work ex and freshers in our current batch. We also look forward for people who have bigger work experience and also with freshers. Again, the cross learning is quite important, and then we kind of provide that atmosphere to our students where they learn from each other. For instance, one of our students has 28 years of experience, and one of our students has army experience. Some people have worked for 5-6. I'll show you a few profiles who are there. The current batch, as I said, it is a practice-based pedagogy. What it means is that all the students go through a hands-on experience on the projects. What you're seeing are the student site visits and classroom discussions with various people. They go to various infrastructure facilities in the country. They have visited the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium here. They have discussions with the leading experts, the authors of the books. RACS brings across quite a lot of faculty who wrote the books, and they come and teach, and they can talk to our students, etc. You can see one of the pictures here of Dr. Makarand Hastak, who has authored the book on infrastructure planning. Our students have gone to DMRC site visits. They are going to different roads and different airports and power plants in the coming days. And this is a kind of a pedagogy which we believe in practice, and that's how the systems are there. So I'll close with a few slides on the students who are currently with us. What you can see here, two particular students who are experienced students, and also freshers who are there. They have been working with different organizations. They have come here to pursue their MBA program, having given up their corporate world in at a fairly big names. Like if you see Rahul, for instance, is working with, he had worked with Bajaj Auto and Tata, and Shashank worked with Lanco. Then you have Kshitij, who has worked with the Quality Buildcon. Then you have Amit, who has worked with Supertech. So you have students who have worked with a different work experience who can chosen to pursue their MBA program and trying to look for various opportunities here. We believe there's a lot of opportunity available once you finish your MBA infrastructure management program. Again, to reiterate, it takes a wide range of background. The background is not a really concern in terms of what is possible. Of course, there is the interview process and the admission process which you need to get through. And once we find it's available and student is interested in going forward, the sky is the limit in terms of opportunities which are available in infrastructure as long as you are there. So I'll stop here and let me go back to the questions one by one. I can always see I have seen quite a few questions are there, so let me go back from the beginning and start answering one by one so we can keep adding it up to this thing. So the first question is from Bishwajit Baumik. He has said that he's cleared his BTech and is doing a job in private firm for past 2 years. He wants to know whether IM will help a better opportunity and further growth. Yes, Vishwajit, I think IM course is a MBA program which builds up the skills what you have in BTech and also draws upon the experience what you have in the past 2 years. I think it will help in a better opportunity. Obviously, it depends upon how you perform in this course and what kind of companies you are looking at, what kind of opportunities you want. But I think it's a good course to go ahead. So the next question is from Kushagra. What are the hopes after my BE if I go for your program and if this is possible, we are recruited in top MNCs? Kushagra, obviously you'll have opportunities to take a job right after BE, but also you have opportunity to go for a master's program once you finish your engineering. In India, it's quite a common practice for students to go to master's program immediately after graduate program. And most of the students across the country, either in MTech or MBA, are freshers. So I don't see a problem. The question of whether you're recruited in top MNCs depends upon who is coming in, who is not coming in, depending upon different programs. But yes, there's an opportunity to come join some of the big names in infrastructure, depending upon the performance, depending upon who is coming in. Okay. So let me go to the next question. Which companies will we expect after completion of MBA IM program? Parag, I think I've answered this question. It is there in the slides. The range of consulting, financing, and developer community. Some of the names which I've mentioned in the past. So I think you can please go back and do it. Look at the presentation again. Okay, next question. There are questions about scholarships. I think my team on the business development will be probably able to answer you. I think we will get back to you specifically. And Arman, please direct a question to the business development team and we'll respond particularly on the scholarships and what kind of percentage, what are offered. Vishal, your question is on Sheffield Hallam in UK. We have tie-ups with University of Salford, University of Ulster. We also have a MOU with Texas A&M. We are exploring with various universities in Australia and US. So we try and give our students an exposure to international academic environment. So it's a kind of a cross-learning. Some of our students go there to study for a semester or so. Apart from that, we also have a program in between where the students are encouraged to go and visit various cities across India and across the Asian, and we are configuring programs for EU and US markets also. So we try and give a exposure to students in the built environment across the world, and including India, of course, because bulk of the students are expected to work in India. So it is, we have tie-ups with some particular schools, and we are also exploring to have tie-ups across the spectrum in different countries. Placement package, I've already mentioned about the placements. So we have last year's batch passed out, had an 100% placement with 6.7 average package. The highest being 13 lakhs. This particular batch we have placed about 93%, and then its average package is about 7.2, and the highest is around 18 lakhs. We expect to finish the placement in a week or so now. So Yash Malhotra, your question is that you are very interested in the program, but it's beneficial to gain some experience in the pursuit of the program. Should I go on joining the course? As I said, Yash, India, again, the students have both the options, either to go towards getting some experience before joining a postgrad program, or they can join directly. Statistics show that bulk of the students come directly, but then it all depends on personal interest and depends upon what you want to look at this. Either way, it is fine. You will have to weigh your options in terms of what kind of jobs you are getting in currently, and does it really weigh against a good program which you want to join. So take a pick, think carefully. Both ways are fine. It all depends upon your personal interest. I suggest evaluate both options and take a considered call. Either way, even if you come here directly to the program, also there's no particular need. Obviously, the people who go through a experience and come will have a different perspective. The students who join directly have a different perspective. So it's your personal. You need to weigh your chances in terms of what options you have currently and what you're going to join in future. Prasad Kadam Patil, your question is what time you're a civil engineering student and wants to start your own company. Will it help in entrepreneurship in construction industry? See, entrepreneurship programs are taught as part of MBA, and the kind of skills and tools required for entrepreneurship is definitely taught. But we will not specifically focus on construction industry. This program is focused on infrastructure management. Infrastructure management largely looks at the commercial side, the financial side, the legal side of a business of infrastructure projects. The actual construction side is done under a different program which RSCS School of Built Environment offers. But yes, to build a business in infrastructure sector, this is the right course which will be there. Obviously, each student or each entrepreneur, as they progress in their life, they will take a call depending on what opportunities there, how do you go about doing it. Yes, there are certain basic skills which are being taught for the entrepreneurship, and we give opportunities for students to look at entrepreneurship. Just as an aside, last week we had a championship which is organized in the particular university where 200 participants from across the city have made business proposals on an entrepreneurship competition. The students from RSCSSB won the championship. They are the toppers in the 200 applications, and they are being seed funded in the university after their efforts. So entrepreneurship is something we definitely encourage. All our we have student groups as well as the faculty supporting students for going for entrepreneurship activities. Rohit, you have an interview at JLL. You have also want to decide to do an MBA. Again, as I said, it's a personal call. If you want to work with a corporate before coming to a MBA, you are most welcome to do so. Or also at the same time, you think you don't want to have a break in the education and want to continue going for MBA, it's not a bad idea. So ultimately, it depends upon where you see yourself at this point of time and where you see yourself 5-10 years down the line and what kind of experience you want. So both are correct. There's no right or wrong answer in this, but it all depends upon your personal interest in terms of the context where you're in. Please think carefully. Pick up whatever things you think suits you very well. Don't worry too much about the correctness or the wrongness of decision because you have a huge career up in front of you. So any decision you take today is not going to hamper your opportunities down the line. If you do an MBA or you go for a job, your future or your opportunities are not going to be any lesser. So take a considered call. Are there some students who are rejected in admission process due to poor in English and communication skills? Prasad, the interview process is a mix of various elements. It's not just the candidate's performance at that particular point of time. We go through the academic record, we go through their admission test, we look at their statement of purpose, we look at how they are performing in the interview. We also look at their aptitude and attitude. So it's a combination of various things. We do have students who are coming from various interior parts of the country who are not so good in English, the current batches, and that's the reason there are a lot of MBA programs across the country and specifically in RSCS School of Built Environment. There's a focus on English and communication skills. So that is not the single deciding factor whether you are getting selected or rejected in a particular program. Rohit, you are repeating the question. You have an interview set up on February 25th and job or MBA. As I said, please think carefully. You need to. This is a personal call. This is not. Others can't advise you on this. You need to think and then come out with the option which is best suited to you. Sai Kishore, the kind of question you asked is repeat of on the construction industry. Can you start a firm after getting knowledge about infrastructure management? See, infrastructure management focuses on the setting up of businesses and infrastructure. how to run a business. So MBA program, any MBA program, general management programs look at entrepreneurship, strategy, marketing, finance, different aspects of it. Which element you want to set up is normally left to the particular student depending upon what they're interested in. Yes, you can always set up a firm in construction if you're so keen to do it. But then if you're expecting a lot of knowledge on construction, probably this is not the right course. The course which will probably give more knowledge on construction will be construction courses. But more particularly on the infrastructure sectors, MBA-IM will give the particular knowledge. Satyanarayana, I am an architect. How MBA-IM is helpful to me if I want to open my own firm. See, as I mentioned, the MBA-IM has opportunities for wide range of backgrounds across engineering, architecture, economics, finance, and public policy. Any MBA program will help you understand the business potential of a particular venture. Whether you want to set up a construction company or whether you want to set up an architecture firm, the core skills or the core understanding of the business in terms of how do you set up, how do you generate ideas, how do you look at running the facility, what kind of resources do you need, both in terms of human capital as well as the fiscal and financial resources. These are taught on various MBA programs. MBA-IM takes it a little further, explains the sector-specific ideas in terms of how do you run infrastructure projects. Architecture has a huge role to play simply in the designing and the urban planning aspects of it. So you will get a knowledge which is away from the technical side, what you have learned in the architecture courses, to on the business management courses. It will definitely help you in doing it, but then it depends upon how you structure your opportunity and then how you go about doing it. There are people who have done an MBA and then decide to work for a firm. But there are also quite a lot of MBAs who decide to go to set up their own firms. So I hope I've answered your question on this. What kind of syllabus is there for entrance test? Again, I leave it to the business development team to answer. Please go to your websites and there are specific questions on this will be answered by your team who is looking at this. How is this course different from MBA with project management? Good question, Satyanarayana. So, as I said, we offer 3 programs: MBA in real estate, MBA in construction management, and MBA in infrastructure. If you look at an example, let's say airport, if you're seeing the Delhi airport has all the 3 components at one place. You have an airport which has to be constructed, a lot of hotels to be constructed, runways to be constructed, the terminal building to be constructed. The technical and the managerial process of the construction management is taught in the MBA with construction project management. Is it being on schedule? Is the quantities correct? The scheduling correct? How are you going to do it? Are you doing it within a time and cost controls? So these kind of focus is there in MBA project management, the construction project management course. MBA real estate and urban infrastructure program looks at the real estate side of it. How do you run a hotel in the part of the airport? How do you run a restaurant as a part of the airport? That is taught in the real estate program in MBA. MBA infrastructure management focuses on the core infrastructure element, which is the airport, the financing of that, the idea of that. How do you look at setting up an airport in a city like Delhi? How do you interface with various partners which are required? How do you forecast what is required for the next 100 years? How do you develop a project? So this is what is taught in the MBA infrastructure management. Very loosely put, MBA project management has a little more technical focus in terms of construction and the project management activities, whereas MBA infrastructure management is focused on commercial, financial, legal portion of the business. So both are different in 2 different angles. So, but any infrastructure project will have all the 3 combinations. You have construction, you have infrastructure, you have real estate. There are questions on is it RSES better than other courses? No, I'll not be able to comment upon how good or bad the other courses are. What we teach in RSES School of Built Environment is to align our courses to the requirements of the industry. We got the faculty from the best of the corporate sector. We have faculty from the best of the academic institutions world over. They are participating and they are trying to teach. So we think we are delivering the top class knowledge to the students who are participating in our courses, and that is reflected both in the industry appreciation and the activities what they're participating in terms of competitions, in terms of summer internships, etc. And the final pudding is in the placements, which so far we have been doing very well, and we hope that this trend will continue. So I think definitely our course are suited to the needs of the industry, and I encourage your students to please go through the evaluate different schools carefully and then decide whichever school you think meets your requirements. Let me go to the next question. There are questions again in terms of the selection, in terms of will the overall degree marks are considered for admission or only last year BE marks. We go through a complete academic record, Prasad. It's not a one particular year. We look at your 10th grades, we look at 12th, we look at engineering, we look at the undergrad courses and any other courses which you have done. So again, as I'm repeating, it's not just the single element which decides the admissions. It's a combination of various factors. Academics play a big role, but also the student attitude, the aptitude, how they perform in the interview, what kind of aspirations they have. So it's a kind of a combination which is seen before a decision is made whether a student is admitted or not. Is it a good option for electronics and communication engineering student? Yes, I think so. There are a lot of opportunities for electronics communication students, especially in transportation and uh, the airports and different sectors who are required. So I think yes, it is possible. I am skipping the questions where you're asking for comparison with other institutes because I don't think it is appropriate to comment upon other institutes. But as I said, RSCSSB offers programs which are very closely tuned towards the industry requirements. There's a question by K. Does Amity University provide MBA in quantity surveying in distance learning mode? If so, how much the fee would be? No, we don't. As RICS School of Built Environment, we don't offer a distance learning programs in quantity surveying. We have specific types with corporates to teach something, and that is not a regular MBA program. Akash, you asked a question. I'm a fresher, so should I join now or come after 2 years of work experience? I've answered this question earlier, Akash. Uh, I mean, you have option either to join now or after 2 years or any number of years of work experience. But as I said, most MBA students in the country, not only in RSA School of Built Environment, the batch, the predominantly the students who are there are freshers. Okay, but having said that, work experience also has its own advantages. They bring a different mix. We consciously take a mix of students from work experience and freshers. So we encourage both. It all depends upon where you stand in terms of your position currently, and then you need to evaluate whether you taking a job at this point of time makes sense or you're going for a postgraduate program immediately. Prathamesh, your question is that first batch of MBA hasn't rolled out. Yes, you are correct. We have started our MBA IM program last year. The first batch is going for internships currently. Sandeep Kumar, your questions after completing my BTech in 2012, I have no experience in any sector. Could this create a problem in placements? If you are pursuing your master's program now, Sandeep, after that, you'll obviously, when you face the companies, the question they will be asking you is that what happened in between 2012 to when you start enrolling into your program, you need to have a convincing answer what you have been doing. Remember, in most of the job interviews, what employers will be looking at is the how truthful the student is, how valuable his skills are, how much are they useful to the company, and how long are they going to stay with them. So if you have a genuine reason why you are not worked, I don't see a problem. But this question you can definitely expect any company to ask, and then you should be ready to answer. Akash, Abdul, your questions on which institute is better. Again, I'm saying I'll not be able to comment upon other institutes. You're picking only one particular name. There are other institutes in the market who are also offering similar kind of programs. I can only reiterate saying that RICS offers a well-rounded program, which is a some of the programs are accredited, some of the programs we are hoping that it will be accredited in future, and we are kind of industry linked and we teach what is required for the industry. Satyanarayana, I'm a student of architecture final year. Do you have a chance to join the course? Yes, Satyanarayana, you do have a chance of joining the MBIM program if you clear your architecture before our program starts. So you need to have you need to clear your architecture program before you come here. Faraz, your question is, you did your degree in 2014 and didn't get a job. Can I get set for MBA CPM? You will need to appear for interview and see. Faraz, I don't really won't know the reason why you are or you not be accepted in a program. As I said, the selection of a program depends upon multiple factors. It's a combination of academics, combination of the interview skills, what you write in various statement of purposes, and how you conduct yourself in the interview. And if there are gaps, some of you have a gaps in your education, you need to explain why the gap is there. Abhijit, your question is that you're a civil engineer, want to jump into corporate world, which includes finance, planning. You're asking which is better, RUIM or IM? What is the basic difference between these two branches? Abhijit, the infrastructure management program looks at the infrastructure projects in terms of developing roads, railways, metros, tourism properties, cities, etc. We are looking at a more city-wide, broader area-based activities, whereas real estate and urban infrastructure program looks at a very narrow in terms of the malls, the residential complexes, the warehouses, the property management, that kind of activities. Both are different in their respective streams. RE focuses on the elements which are required to make a land and the real estate, which is very critical. Infrastructure focuses on the public utilities, public services, and the private sector participation in those things. So essentially, both are different. But if you take a large project, as I explained earlier, in the case of a Delhi airport, the RE stream as well as IM stream will coexist. Also, you have the third stream, which is the construction project management. All three put together is what we call a built environment. That is why we call ourselves School of Built Environment. Sandeep, I have answered this question earlier. If you have a gap in between, you will need to explain why it is there. But yes, that is not a block to join an MBA program. Akash, which are the qualities which can give us overseas placements? The interviews process which is adopted by the Indian companies as well as the international companies is typically similar, Akash. So it depends upon what requirements they see at the point of time, what skills they are kind of finding in our students. So when they come to a campus, like RSCS School of Built Environment, we offer all the students who are eligible to go for the interviews. The companies pick up who they think are the best. So it's not really, it happens with every company, not just with overseas placement. So obviously, we teach the qualities which are required in different markets because the international accredited program we have to match that quality. So there are students who got placed in international companies, and we expect that the trend to continue in future as well. Faraz, I answered your question. Shilp Shah, your question, is it course to distance learning medium? No, we don't offer a distance learning medium program on this at RSCS School of Built Environment. Fee structure, it's about 7.8 lakhs for 2 years. Vishwajit, question on how are you giving training and practical? Is it company or university itself? The internship program, Vishwajit, between the 2 years, end of the first year, you are supposed to work in a corporate. So we will assist you in a internship. The companies will come like a final placement. They'll come interview students and they pick the students, and then the students are placed across the country, across various projects, and you get trained in corporate. There are also university defined programs, but that is used very, very discreetly depending upon what kind of opportunities are there in the university at that particular point of time. Normally, we expect the students to go to the industry and work there. So all the practical training, if you're referring to the internship, it is done outside, not left here. Zubair Ahmed, I have got altogether 12 years of experience. Does this suit me? Zubair, 12 years of experience. After that, you do an MBA program. Companies will have to look at you quite differently. It will suit you in terms of what is required. Also, it depends upon what you want to do. If you definitely want to go back and do your own entrepreneurship, definitely it's a great program. You want to look at corporates, then we have to look at a company who is going to need students who have that kind of experience. So it will have to work. You have to think carefully how it will be done in future. Will there be webinars in other branches of RSCS? Yes, definitely. We are continuously going to have webinars on different streams. So please watch out, Bharani. You will find programs on quantity surveying, project management, RE, and probably infrastructure management also going forward. Is there an office job after this program, Sahil? Going forward, any MBA program, Sahil, involves a lot of travel, be it in a RE or a construction or a infrastructure with a sector specific domain projects, or if you look at in a finance, HR, marketing, the current world which is expected is a lot of movement. We don't expect any of the graduates, postgraduates who have done masters in business management sitting in office, very, very rare. You will have office based jobs, but travel is a necessary component. If you are saying that will there be jobs on a construction site, these are all management programs. So to the extent the construction activities will be limited, but yes, if you are placed in infrastructure project, if you are placed on looking at commercial side of a project, there will be jobs which are there on the site as well. So it's a mix of everything. The students will have to pick up what kind of job they want when companies come for placement at that point of time. I want to open my firm in real estate. Does MBA and RUE help me? Probably yes, it can. But Sandeep, I request you to watch out for the webinar on real estate, and probably you can ask the respective director or the faculty who's taking that webinar. They'll be able to answer this question in much more detail. Ritik, your question is MBA IM doesn't have RS accreditation now. Will it get accreditation soon? Yes, it is going to be accredited. It is a requirement of RSCS that the course be commenced before we apply for accreditation. So we have commenced our course and we are applying for the accreditation. We don't expect a challenge. It should come shortly. All our programs are accredited, other programs. So the similar style we are following. So I don't see a problem in accreditation with the. Shilp Shah, I could not leave my current job with a person, but really want to start MBA course as well. Can I do the same from RSCS? RSCS MBA program intake is starting in July. So you have to come to the admission process, and if you are selected, you can start now. Darshak Goswami, what are the opportunities in government sector after completing MBA and IM? Now, Darshak, infrastructure by definition works with government quite a lot from different angles. Need not be as a placement in government, but a lot of activities in terms of consulting, developers community works with government. If you are looking for a government sector, they normally don't go for placements to various campuses. They will come out with advertisements as and when there's a requirement of recruiting various graduates. You need to compete against all other postgraduate qualification people who are applying, and then you need to get a job. But it's rare that any government sector goes to a MBA college and then tries and recruits. Earlier, public sector units used to do. The trend has come down across the country now. Are there any international placements provided? Yes, there are. 25% of this batch is placed abroad. Rohit, I answered your question. There are webinars on RUA and construction project management coming up as well. Ashik, your question is on MBA infrastructure management. How is it different from MS or MTech in the same subject? Ashik, if you have been watching the IITs who are offering, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Delhi, and IIT Chennai, they offer a MTech program in infrastructure management. The essential difference lies in the degree itself. MTech is a technical degree, is a Master of Technology. MBA is a the business administration degree. So what we teach on the business administration side. So more on the commercial, financial, legal side of business, whereas MTech teaches elaborates the engineering background. So you learn a little more about engineering there and technology there. So essentially, MBA is on managing a business. MTech and MS programs are largely on the technical and engineering side. Prathamesh, how much does the work ex matter while getting selected? Yes, it does matter, but it's not the sole criteria when we are looking at. Most institutes, including RSA School of Built Environment, look for a mix of fresh graduates as well as work ex. So it's not a deciding factor. We have quite a few freshers in our batches, but we also welcome work experienced candidates. What is the criteria if you want to study my last semester at University of Salford? Vinith, there are we have a credit system where we agreed with Salford. The process probably we can explain once you are we can do it offline with one of my team. We can explain a little more detail, but it is we have to develop a equivalence between what is there here and what is there Salford. We have a tie-up, and our students have gone in the past and they have come back. So probably you can directly get in touch with my business development colleagues, and they'll be able to answer this question better. Zishan, what is the best course to opt for after BTech if you want MBA, and what are the job opportunities? All MBAs are open, Zishan. It depends upon what kind of program you're looking at. RSCS offers specialized programs in three streams. Infrastructure management is one of the streams which we are kind of looking at. There are other two streams which are there on construction real estate management. On the student requirements in terms of bank loans, etc., I suggest Kaushik, please again contact the business development team. They'll be able to give you a accurate picture on what is possible, what is not possible. Sudhakar, your question on your mechanical engineer, should I join MBA now or take some industry experience? I have answered this question earlier. It all depends upon what kind of opportunity you're looking at currently, Sudhakar. You want to go for a job now, or whether you want to continue doing your MBA. It's essentially your own personal call, but a lot of students who decide not to have any break in their education continue with the MBA program. But there are students who would like to have some kind of a corporate exposure before continuing their education. Both are fine. Opportunities are available for both of you, both the routes. Please think over carefully and pick up whatever you think is suits your aptitude. Swapnil, can you, if you get a second chance, you have to apply again. Then again, you have to go through the process to, even if you're rejected once, probably will consider you again if you operate and explain why you got rejected earlier. For a which program is suitable? IM or CPM? Akash, again, both are possible. You are eligible for both infrastructure management or construction project management course. It depends upon your interest again. Infrastructure management course focus on uh, the commercial side, the financial side, legal side of it. Construction project management a little more technical in nature. So if you're interested in more managing the business, doing a little more of finance, a little more of commercial activities, probably is IM. But if you're looking at more site-based activities or more construction management, probably you're looking at CPM. I'm just scrolling down to see if any other questions on this. A lot of questions which are repetitive has been answered. Atul, your question on quantity surveying and construction project management, which branch have more site work? Both will have Atul, both will have equivalent amount of site work. The the elements what are being taught in both the programs are different. First one focuses on quantity surveying and the construction economics, whereas the second one is more on the project management. We have good placement record for both the programs. Are there freshers in the current batch of infrastructure management? Yes, Jayant, there are freshers in current batch. We have a judicious mix of both. We have about 40% of the batch with the work-ex and then balance are with freshers, the current batch. So a lot of questions have been answered by Shweta. So let me go down. If there are any other questions which you are not taken now, we will take. The specific questions on the student fees, the selection procedure, I suggest that please get in touch with my business development team. They'll be able to answer all these questions offline. On the accreditation process of RSCS, as I mentioned, yes, we are kind of applying to the process and we hope that this will get done shortly. So I'll take one or two more questions and we'll stop. I can see one or a couple of you typing the questions. So let me take these and we will stop. Atul, I will not be able to answer a question why is RSCS different from any other institute. As I said, we can only talk about RSCS. We think we offer programs which are in the best interest of the industry and the best interest of the students. Please do evaluate various institutes and then take your decision, which one you want to go. Rohit, your question on why is RSCS not recruiting from this institute? RSCS is an industry body who looks at members. It's essentially looking at uh, it's kind of developing the profession in terms of land, real estate, and construction. It's not a recruiter in that particular sense. We offer recruitments to corporates who are looking at needing those students all over the places, both India as well as abroad. So, so I think I'll stop here. Thank you, all of you, for joining this webinar. This presentation will be available to you. All the questions you can see again and see the responses. Please do write to us in detail whatever doubts you have. We will respond to you individually. Thank you very much.